So guys, I don't know if you guys have ever peeled an onion, but if you have, you've noticed that layers start unraveling as you peel. And the more layers you peel, you reveal more layers. So you've probably also noticed that if you cut onions, you start to cry a little bit and your eyes tear up, So, our lives are kind of like onions. Once you start peeling, the layers begin to appear. Just like our problems, our disappointments, our frustrations, and our fears. So the more we peel, the more we see and relive the mistreatments, the hurts that others have given us, and the circumstances that have caused in our lives. And eventually, we cry. Not from the smell of the onion, but from the weight of despair we feel. So guys, there are many things you will learn in life, and possibly 3 of the most important ones are life sucks sometimes, we all know that. Number 2, bad things happen, even if you haven't done anything wrong. And number 3, life isn't fair sometimes. So as most of you have already learned in your life so far, you're going to be mistreated and things are going to happen to you that cause you hurt and pain. And when those things happen, you can choose to peel the onion and relive layer after layer of the hurt and despair you felt, or you can choose to move on and stop focusing on the problems, the disappointments, the frustrations, and the hurts. You can choose to stop peeling the onion. So focusing on our problems, our disappointments, our frustrations, and our hurts, allow them to define us. Guys, you don't want to live a life where the people who have treated you unfairly get to define you. They've already hurt you. It's in the past. Don't let them continue to hurt you as you peel the onion and focus on layer after layer of the pain they've caused. Stop peeling the onion and define yourself. Become the person who you want to be, not somebody who isn't something because of what others have done.
When I was 10 years old, my cousin and I were playing, and she had told me that I was adopted. The reason she told me was because we got in a fight. So I didn't believe her, so when my parents picked me up, I went and asked them, and they sat down with me and told me the whole story that I was adopted, that my mother was 16 and pregnant, and that she had made the decision of giving me to them.
Yeah, when I was 16 years old and I found that I was pregnant, I was scared and didn't know what to do, so I talked to my mom because I was scared to tell my dad.
When I found out that I was adopted, I could have been mad or sad, but I wasn't. I was grateful because she could have aborted me. She could have gave me to another family that wouldn't even love me.
Like, I always thought if I was going to give her to somebody, it would be my mother and father. Never like to a stranger or anybody. But my mother said it was better for me to give it to her because I was too young and I could get married, and she didn't want nobody mistreating her or nobody else being her dad or mom but them.
And I thank my grandparents so much for having me and letting me stay with them and giving me a home. I really love them to death, and they're my role models.
Yeah, I'm glad I did give it to my mom because she turned out great.
All right, so you guys may not know this, but there have actually been skydivers whose parachutes didn't open and they fell thousands of feet to the ground, and they lived. So over the years, experts have tried to explain this. One of the theories is that you don't actually die on the first bounce. Some believe that the initial impact is not what causes death. They believe it's the second bounce. They say the first bounce breaks up everything, and then the second bounce causes vital organs to puncture and you die. So I don't know if that's true or not, but it's a great picture of what happens in our life. So if we're honest, it isn't really the hurt and pain people cause us that detours our life. It isn't really the unfair circumstances that detour our lives. What detours us and keeps us from enjoying life is how we respond to the hurts and pains, the second bounce. So guys, I saw this phrase yesterday. Yesterday or tomorrow, it's your choice. So guys, do something crazy this week. Stop peeling the onion and choose tomorrow.